What a whale of a story, a whale of a team, a whale of a game, and a whale of a man bun. The Welsh are in the semifinals of Euro 2016. It's amazing. Brian Wright is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. We're recapping the quarterfinals of the Euros, and we're also going to take a little look at the semifinal games starting tomorrow. So with that being said, let's bring Brian on. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Got some interesting results from the quarterfinals. Not ones I would have picked, but certainly shapes up to be an excellent semifinal round, and we might have a surprise winner.
Yeah, let's talk about the Welsh, man. This tournament has been kind of lacking that game, that standout type of game, that game of the tournament. And, well, we got it. Wales and Belgium. What an exciting game. It was back and forth, exciting. What did you think? I definitely thought that was by far the best game of the tournament.
When you compare it to the other quarterfinal games that we saw, that was easily the most entertaining game of the round, probably of the tournament, because everybody's rooting for Wales or Iceland at this point, but most people rooting for Wales. After they take out England, you're going up against a Belgian team that is really starting to hit its stride after a good round of 16 win, and we've talked about Belgium plenty. They've got a lot of good young players. I think I picked Belgium to win that game handily, 3-1, 4-1. Not to be. I mean, the power of the Welsh, I suppose, combined with some really poor play from the Belgium side.
That game was incredible to me because Belgium comes out and they dominate. They dominate like the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. You get that goal from Nainggolan. What a strike that was. Unbelievable. We kind of talked about, pre-show. He's one of the best strikers of the ball in the world, basically, right now. I mean, god damn, he can shoot. I brought up that name, Torsten Frings, and how great of a long shooter he is. So they get off to this great start. They score the goal, and then all of a sudden, what the fuck happened?
I'm sure Mark Wilmots is asking himself that question right now in Belgium, where it's probably 5:30 in the morning. Probably keeping him up at night. But, the Nainggolan shot to open the scoring. No, you could put 3 goaltenders in there, and it's not going to be stopped. So you would think that would have given Belgium a nice impetus to go on and rule the day, as they say. But Captain Ashley Williams, comes back for Wales and gets the equalizing goal when he really wasn't even supposed to play because he had a pretty bad leg injury. And it looked like after that just deflated Belgium and really, really sent the Welsh on their way, thinking, "Hey, we can do this. Let's get after it," and that's what they did.
Yeah, Belgium basically just stopped defending, stopped marking people in the box, and Ashley Williams had a couple chances to score. Not only just that header, but he had a couple other ones that he kind of didn't really get a good head on the ball. But terrible defense from the Red Devils, clearly missing Vincent Kompany, their leader.
They're certainly missing Kompany. You saw that in the second goal that Wales scored to take the lead. Hal Robson-Kanu gets the ball in the box there, wiggles his way through 2 guys, and rips it home past Courtois with ease. Robson-Kanu is going to earn himself a nice contract with a big European club because he's currently unattached right now. But you could see when that goal was scored from probably 12, 13 yards out, how big of an impact Vincent Kompany has, because he would not allow that to happen.
We had 2 goals there that those 2 players, they're never going to score again. Kanu, the little Cruyff turn there, and the left-footed shot, and oh my God, that header was a thing of beauty. It was unbelievable. Vokes,
you'll never see Sam Vokes' name written on any big European trophy other than possibly this one. But combination of an unbelievably well-placed header and some really poor marking by Belgium. I couldn't really tell if they were man marking, he just got lost. If they were playing zonal marking, that was just horrendous.
Yeah, and let's talk about Aaron Ramsey right now because, well, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to play in the semifinals. That's a huge loss, but he was everywhere in this game. He might have had even a better performance than Gareth Bale. He was everywhere, linking play, making runs, making passes. He was everywhere. He was unbelievable.
Aaron Ramsey's a fantastic player. He doesn't get quite the recognition that he perhaps should because he plays for a very, very good Arsenal team. But he does do a lot of work for Arsenal, and he shines even brighter for the Welsh national team because they don't have a ton of stars. You have Bale there, but other than that, I'm not sure you have too many guys that play in the Premier League. You have Bale, who's at Real Madrid. You have him, and you have the always awesome Joe Allen, who is toiling at Liverpool but might be leaving.
So what does this now do for Belgium? Because this team is this generational type of team. What does this mean for the World Cup now? I mean, they didn't disappoint necessarily at the last World Cup, but I think people might have thought they might have gotten a little bit further, maybe even the semis, even though they got to the quarters. But this was a disappointment.
It was a huge disappointment. I don't think it was as much a disappointment that they lost in the quarters as it was the fact that who they lost to. If the bracket shakes out a little differently and they get beat by France or they get beat by Germany, it's not as big a deal. But the fact that they lost to tiny Wales, who, is, England's west neighbor, and English don't even like Wales. The Welsh are not a really good team, but they're showing it. They're almost pulling a 2004 Greece. If you remember the 2004 Euros, which Greece ran all the way through and won. This could be the new Greece. But if you're Mark Wilmots and the coaching staff of Belgium, I think you're disappointed, but I still think you look at your roster and say, we're pretty damn good. We're going to be okay for the World Cup.
I mean, let's be real here. They should have coasted to the finals.
They should have. Given the bracket that they were in, they should have beaten. I mean, if they're on their game, they beat Wales 5-0. If they're firing on all cylinders, if the defense is even paying half of a percentage of attention, that team is stacked. There's no reason that they should stumble like that. Almost like the 2011 Phillies. Remember that team? The team that won 102 games and then blew it to the Cardinals in the first round? That's what Belgium is right now.
I would get rid of that coach.
I don't think he's helping matters. I think there might be a bit of a mutiny on their hands soon if they don't start winning.
Yeah, I mean, even during the World Cup, I kind of thought he was a joke, but that's just me. All right, let's move on to another game in the quarterfinals. Germany and Italy. For the first time in a major tournament, Germany beats Italy. They win by the penalty kick, and we'll talk about the penalty shootout later. I mean, what a joke that was. But this game was disappointing because both teams were kind of just plodding along. Germany was afraid to get aggressive, and I didn't really appreciate their performance. I thought they could have been a lot better. They won, but yeah.
Exactly. That is the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what Yogi Low would say too. Yeah. We got through, but yeah. They just didn't. They also were not firing on all cylinders. I mean, Mueller wasn't at his best. Schweinsteiger comes in late. You thought maybe him coming in would give him a lift. They weren't aggressive enough, and Italy loves that kind of stuff. Italy's not the most aggressive team. They get forward when they can. But if you're Italy, you'll happily take a penalty shootout against Germany because it's a complete crapshoot.
Yeah, it's exactly what they're playing for because talent-wise, they're not going to beat Germany.
No.
So you sit back, you defend, you counterattack, and they leveled the score. What was it, like 70th minute or whatever it was, 80th minute or whatever, with the handball in the box. But you got to credit Italy. I mean, they played its game and they got to the penalty shootout. But Germany, man,
No, Italy did what they had to do. You knew after that game went into extra time that Germany was on the, Germany was saying, okay, we've got to score. We don't want this to go to a shootout. Italy, on the other hand, they were going to sit back. They were going to take their opportunities if they came. But if that game had gone to a penalty shootout, even though Italy lost, I think they can still hold their heads high, saying we gave the champs a pretty good run for their money. But that penalty shootout, this is why I hate penalty shootouts, because that was horrendous.
Oh, it's they couldn't even hit the net. I mean, these guys were over the bar, right, left of the bar.
It was, penalty shootouts are a complete crapshoot, and usually, you've watched enough soccer to know, what is usually the deciding factor in a penalty shootout. One guy misses, right? Not three for each side.
It was awful.
It was bad, and they weren't off the post close. A couple were, but there were some really bad ones, like Jason Punchin for Crystal Palace last year, who just blasted one over the crossbar, probably like by 50 feet. We had some of those, and I guess you could say that's just a product of the pressure getting to these guys. But you'd like to think a lot of these players on these big national teams, pressure shouldn't. I don't want to say it shouldn't affect them, because it obviously did, but you would think they would be able to handle it a little bit better.
Now, do you think maybe not only the pressure, but the goalies in net? You had Buffon and Neuer, so maybe they were trying to do a little bit too much because these goalies are outstanding. But then again, it's like it's a penalty shootout. You should be able to score.
Right. Looking at that goalkeeper matchup, you've got Gigi Buffon, one of the greatest in Europe, Manuel Neuer, who would be arguably the greatest the greatest goalkeeper of this generation. Gigi Buffon's a little older. But even with those two guys in the net, the kicker still has a huge advantage.
Yeah. So
there's really not much to say other than that penalty kick shootout sucked and Germany got lucky.
Yeah, I was very, very disappointed in that game. I was really looking forward to it, and it was kind of a dud. And there's been a lot of kind of duds in this tournament. But Wales and Belgium definitely lived up to the billing. A team that is peaking at the right time right now, France. Oh, they put a little whipping on Iceland. The ice melted away. It's done. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Bye to Iceland. Great.
Everybody's riding high. Everybody's riding high after Iceland's big win over England. You got Marty Smith, the ESPN NASCAR analyst. They sent him over to Reykjavik to do a live shot there, and he's out there talking to people. He's on the Viking ship. They're coming back. Everybody's doing the Viking chant, and France just says, "No, it's not going to happen on our turf."
Yeah, it was 3-0 by like the 40th minute. It was over real quick.
And you saw, as I had predicted, and I think when we were talking about our picks going through for the whole tournament, I picked France to win the tournament, and they are peaking at the right time. Didier Deschamps, the French manager, really has them playing well. That midfield is unbelievably good. You got Pogba in there. You've got Blaise Matuidi for PSG. Olivier Giroud is good enough because he has a lot of help, but they're just rolling, and I think they're gonna win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, because the group stage is the second game. I forget who they played in the second game, but they scored real late, and then the third game, was another kind of shitty kind of game. It was 0-0, so they really weren't scoring. But now they're ratcheting everything up. They're cruising. All right, let's talk about the fourth game, Poland, Portugal. Poland gets the quick goal. You talked about that, in the preview. If they can score real quick with Lewandowski and kind of defend a little bit, they had a really solid chance of winning, and that almost happened. But Portugal had some magic too in the first half.
They did, and we thought. I thought if Poland was going to win, they're going to need a early goal, and they're going to need to lock it down. They got the early goal from Lewandowski, but Renato Sanchez had a little bit of magic there. I think he's the youngest player ever to score in a Euro tournament, 18 years old. But again, another game that went to PKs, and another situation where that really even though Poland lost, going into the PK shootout, that benefits Poland because you're thinking okay, we're pretty good, but we're taking Cristiano Ronaldo's boys to a penalty shootout. All the pressure is on Portugal in that situation, and luckily, Ronaldo was able to contribute and fend off an embarrassing loss.
Let's talk about Renato Sanchez. How good is he? Because wow, he's unbelievable. That goal was amazing.
He's going to be a really special player, and to see somebody that young contributing in such a huge international level can only mean good things for his future career. Wherever that takes him around the world, and for his national team, he's going to be a star.
Could he potentially be like a top 5 player in the world, you think?
I think he could. I think it's going to take him a little more seasoning, and he's going to have to make his way over to the Premier League. I think at some point, but he's definitely getting there, and that goal certainly helps him make a name for himself, much like Robinson Canu for Wales, who does not have a team at the moment. These international tournaments are almost like tryouts, but on the biggest stage possible.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, so let's talk some preview. Let's talk about the semifinals. So let's start with Wales and Portugal. Now, it's a shame that Ramsey isn't going to be able to play in this game because if he could, I probably would pick Wales. I might still pick Wales because I just haven't been impressed with Portugal in this tournament.
No, I agree. Looking at that matchup, not having Ramsey is going to hurt your midfield, but you've got two superstars in Bale and Ronaldo who know each other incredibly well because they play together at Real Madrid. Mm. But if I'm picking one or the other, I'm riding the Welsh man bun. I don't think Portugal is that good, which is why when we did our little rankings back a couple of shows ago, I think I had them 6th or 7th. Yeah. You look at them man for man, they've got one. You know, if you're going to rank players, this guy's at 10, this guy's an 8, like all the way down. They have 110 surrounded by a bunch of 6s and 7s.
And the defense doesn't look particularly great either.
The defense is not great. You have 1 8 or 9 in there with Pepe. Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper, is probably a 6 or a 7. You have Ronaldo, but I don't think they're that good. And when you look at Wales, they also have a 10 in Gareth Bale, so that kind of cancels them out. And you've got the Wales setup is fairly similar. You have guys that are 6s and 7s. If I'm going off my player ranking analogy here, I think the breakthrough is going to come. I think Wales is good enough defensively to hold them off as long as you can somehow manage to bottle up Ronaldo. And Wales is going to the final.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I mean, Portugal is a team that finished 3rd in its group, so you got that's just already a red flag.
They almost lost to the U.S. in World Cup group stage play. Yeah. One for an unbelievable cross by Ronaldo right at the end of the game there.
Yeah.
They're not that good. I mean,
I mean, even looking back, round of 16, Croatia, that was like the worst game of the tournament. That game was terrible. And then this game, I mean, again, Portugal does not look that good. So Wales definitely has a great chance.
Portugal is Cristiano Ronaldo and a bunch of dudes almost. The difference is the reason why I pick Wales is because yes, they have their own superstar in Gareth Bale, but they have a much better supporting cast, and they're riding a nice wave of momentum here that they can certainly capitalize on. They play as a team better than Portugal does because they just want to get Ronaldo involved, and hopefully he's got one moment of magic up his sleeve somewhere, and that's how they hope to get through.
Yeah. All right, so we're both going to go Wales. Now the big juggernaut game, France, Germany.
Which is what we all wanted to see.
This is basically the final.
This is the game everybody wanted to see. You've got the French team that's rolling. Didier Deschamps has that team playing really well. They're good defensively. They've got Hugo Lloris in goal, who is fantastic. Their forward line with Giroud is okay, but you've got an unbelievable midfield with Dimitri Payet, West Ham's Dimitri Payet, who scored that first goal, the winning goal for them in the first game of the tournament. He can always provide you with a moment of magic. On the other side, you've got Germany, the world champs, who, like their team motto, they're just a machine. But unfortunately, that machine is not running as smoothly as Yogi Löw would like. So if Germany's not careful, I think they could get beat.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take Germany still, but like it's going to be a great game. I'm seeing like a 2-1 sort of final.
My hope for it is that it doesn't go to penalties, and you have a fairly high scoring 1-goal game, like a 3-2.
Yeah, even if it goes to extra time, like somebody might score an extra time or something.
And
I definitely don't want to see penalties. I fucking hate penalties. It's dumb. To side basically the final of Euro 2016 with penalties.
But you have to factor in the home field advantage that France has. It's significant.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm still taking Germany though. I don't know. I got a feeling that it's going to show up in the semis. So we'll see. I mean, we're kind of waiting for Germany, and it kind of still hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I mean, they won 3-0. Yeah, we won 3-0 against Slovakia, but like that's Slovakia.
We're waiting for Germany to just turn it on like they did in the World Cup. When did Germany officially become the monsters of that World Cup? When they just destroyed Brazil 7-1? That was when you knew Germany was taking it seriously. Because they were in that group with the U.S. and Portugal and Ghana. They didn't have to do anything real. In fact, they could have waltzed through that last group game because they were already through. Germany just turns it on when they feel like it. And if for some reason that doesn't happen, France could run them out of the building.
Well, this is the game where they got to turn it on. So,
I'm taking France. I think France wins it 3-2.
It's the same kind of scenario, though. Brazil, the host nation, semifinals of the World Cup. It's happening again. So we'll see. I mean, Germany scored they scored 5 goals in 14 minutes in that game. Now, Brazil, obviously, defensively, a lot worse than.
You know why I remember that game? Other than the fact that it was 7-1, is because I was doing the live scoreboard for TSN for that game, and I couldn't keep up with all the goals they were scoring.
They were just it was just one after another. It was unbelievable. Never seen anything like that game. But that game will definitely always be the most memorable game of that World Cup.
Credit to Brazil though, because they took their ass whooping in stride. Fired their coach right after, but they didn't sulk or anything. Well, except for maybe Neymar. He was kind of. Yeah.
Well, Neymar is a little petulant little child, just like Cristiano Ronaldo.
But I'm taking France 3-2. I think Payet scores twice, and I think Giroud gets one.
Oh. So Payet would be in the lead for the top goal scorer then.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. So then obviously I think we would both probably take the winner of the Germany-France game to win the whole thing.
I picked France earlier. Sticking with it.
All right. I'm going to take Germany. I'm sticking with that too. So taking chalk. But I think a lot of people are on France right now. I believe the experts on ESPN, they all took France in this.
I was actually looking at that before the tournament. I don't remember how many of the experts weighed in, but as far as which team will win, I think you had predominantly France. Predominantly France, a couple Germany, and 1 or 2 brave souls that picked Belgium.
Yeah, well, Belgium was my pre-tournament pick, and that didn't turn out well. But yeah,
eventually that little honeymoon phase that this darlings of Europe thing has to wear off for Belgium, and when it does, I think Mark Wilmots is going to get his ass fired. But the problem with that is Mark Wilmots played for the Belgian national team in the 90s, and he's kind of a legendary figure, so you can't just can him unless you've got.
They need to, because he's terrible. He's bad.
I'll tell you, if they don't make it out of the group stage for some reason at the next World Cup, he's gone.
I think they got to cut him before that because that's the World Cup that they have to. I mean, not that they're going to win it, but they have to go far in that World Cup to
They still have a lot of young players that are still in their prime. If they don't get, I said group stage, but I'll go a little further. If they don't get to the semis of the next World Cup, he's going to be gone.
I mean, they got to get to at least the quarterfinals, I think. So, we'll see. But that's where they got last time. So, yeah, maybe the semis make sense.
Maybe the Belgians can take Jurgen Klinsmann.
Hopefully not. Kind of like him on the U.S. So there you go. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Looking forward to a good semifinal round. Maybe we'll have some union content coming up.
Yeah.
Later this week, early next week. They have another home game Saturday night against DC. Need to win after a poor result last week.
Yeah, so we'll do a Union show on Sunday. And are you available like Thursday night?
This week.
Yeah. That's when
It would have to be around this time again.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. That's fine.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, with that being said, that's Brian Wright. I'm Adrian Fedque. Can't wait for the semis, baby. Euro 2016. Yeah. Oh, go Germany. Well, I don't really care. I just want to see a good. I'm out. He's out. We're out. Later.